Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking closely at authority and dominion. We've pulled together insights from 12 key biblical texts, comparing, the UTV with the older Greek sources, the H2F1 or Septuagint, the goal, to figure out what defined real power.
Yeah, and that comparison is crucial. What these sources really map out is this kind of cosmic clash. We're seeing this constant friction, right, between flawed human power structures, think big cities, ideologies, and genuine divine sovereignty. Our mission really is to understand why human power, according to these texts, just seems inherently unstable.
Okay, right. So let's unpack that. Maybe start with the root cause, this pretension of knowledge.
Exactly. Job 38 really nails it. It sort of mocks human arrogance. It contrasts God's deep-lived ancient knowledge, the Hebrew word is yada, with our mortal reality, which is, well, basically just measured by a finite number of days. We're temporary, pretending at timeless wisdom.
And that pretension, that arrogance, it manifests physically, doesn't it? Like trying to build stability where maybe there isn't any. Spot on. Look at Genesis 10, the whole great city thing, resin. That's the architecture of human power. Building these massive centers is like humanity trying to force its own order onto the world, establish its own importance. It's completely separate from any idea of, delegated stewardship. It's self-made significance.
But these grand systems, they fail.
Yeah.
And Isaiah 29 suggests it's not just bad luck or external factors, it's internal, right? The heart.
Precisely. The corruption is baked into the intention. People might say the right things, draw near with their mouth, do all the rituals, but internally, their heart is far. There's a disconnect.
And the Septuagint version really hammers this home.
It does. While both versions note the distance, the LXX, the Greek one, emphasizes that this kind of worship is nullified. It basically says, if your worship is based on human rules and your heart isn't in it, it's in vain, utterly worthless.
So if human structures and even human worship fail because of this internal flaw, what does true dominion look like then? It flips the script, doesn't it? Totally inverted. It's about service over status. Judges 9 gives us that great little story, Jotham's fable. The olive tree turns down, being promoted, ruling over the other trees. Why? Because it prefers its fatness deshen, that rich oil it produces. That's its contribution. It honors God and people through its function, its provision. That's the power. Contribution, not control.
Okay, so power is contribution, but then you get this idea of surrender, like in 2 Chronicles, the battle isn't yours. How does that fit with being productive? It sounds a bit passive.
Well, it's about whose battle it is. Your production, your contribution, it needs the right foundation. 2 Chronicles 20.15 is stark. The battle is not yours, but Elohim's. It yanks the agency away from human effort, especially military might, and gives it back to the divine.
And this isn't just about literal battles, is it? It applies elsewhere, like the economy.
Absolutely. Connect that surrender principle to the Sabbath year in Exodus 23. What's righteous dominion there? It's releasing control, letting the land rest, Shamat specifically so the poor, the Ebion, can benefit. You're basically building trust into the system, prioritizing it over hoarding and accumulation. Wealth is shown by release, not storage.
But then you hit this paradox in Hebrews 11. The faithful, the ones who supposedly lived this out, they were stoned, cut in two, afflicted. Their service didn't exactly lead to worldly success. Doesn't that kind of undermine the whole model?
You'd think so, but the text presents that suffering differently. Their willingness to be cut in two, the wrist is on. That's actually the ultimate display of this inverted dominion. It shows the limits of the world's power. The world can hurt them, kill them even, but it can't break their allegiance to that unseen kingdom. Their suffering exposes the weakness of the worldly system.
Okay, so tying this all together, when human systems reject that kind of allegiance, that service model, what do they become?
They become transactional, self-serving. That's why the Tyre prophecy in Isaiah 23 calls it spiritual prostitution. Tyre represents this powerful economic engine, focused entirely on profit, driven by self-interest, loyalty up for sale. And the texts are clear. That kind of dominion, like Moab in Jeremiah 48, is heading for judgment, for desolation.
So the big takeaway for you listening, while we see these big collective systems failing, Ezekiel 18 brings it right back to the individual, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Ezekiel 18.19 is crystal clear. Accountability is personal. The soul who sins shall die. You can't just blame your ancestors or the system for your own choices, your own heart's direction.
It's individual. And Proverbs 22 says, justice is reciprocal. You reap what you sow.
Exactly. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. If the battle, whether it's military, economic, or spiritual, if it truly belongs to Elohim, What's the one thing you, the learner, need to stop fighting for by yourself? What battle are you trying to win that isn't actually yours to fight?
Something to think about.